Hi, I have a 2006 Chrysler 300C. The airbag lights are always on. The best information I could get on the internet is that when the problem is resolved, the lights will go out. I thought that was very profound, but that didn't do me any good. I want my lights off. So I went to the store, bought one of these. This is the one I've got. Make sure that you get one. The one that you do get will connect to the airbag module in your car. You can then turn it on to live feed and be able to read what the output of each of the four sensors that's under the passenger seat. One of my sensors was indicating open. Okay, great. Now I know what the problem is. Off to the junkyard. $5 later, I've got a sensor. I installed it, turned the car on. All the lights went out. Everything seemed to be fine. I strapped myself in. I'm getting ready to go, but the seatbelt light is still on. So I reached over to the passenger seat belt and grabbed it and connected it. The light then went out. So what that means is the new sensor that I installed is not adjusted to my car, and it believes that there is somebody sitting in the seat. And what these sensors are all about is to determine whether or not there's a child there, and it will then determine how hard the airbag will be deployed in case of an accident. That's what the deal is. About the only way you can get these things adjusted is with a $2,000 scanner or take it to the dealer, or you can do it the hillbilly way, or let's just call it my way. Now I'll show you what I mean.
Okay, this is the subassembly. Bolts to the floor of the car on your Chrysler 300. It's got a little computer here that talks to the mainframe computer. Don't buy one of these, it won't work on your car. It has VIN numbers that are etched in the memory that do not match your car, and so it's not going to work. But this is the device that determines what the seat sensors are seeing. There's 4 of these. One mounts on every corner of this frame. The seat then mounts to the center bolt of these sensors. And what you'll need is one of these scan tools that can talk to the airbags, the airbag module. You turn it on to live data. You select how many pounds are being displayed or sensed by each sensor. And also it can tell you whether or not one of these is open, which is the problem that I had, which caused the lights to come on and stay on continuously. At that time you can see with a proper scan tool you can bolt these all down to their proper torque specs, which I think is 30 pounds. You do all of that and then you talk to the computer and you tell this thing that these are all at 0, so that when there's no passengers in the seat, it sees 0. That can be adjusted with a proper scan tool, not this one. All this one can do is display what each sensor is feeling. So what I have found is that you can turn this on to live data connected to your airbag module. You can snug these guys down, not necessarily to 30, but it's got to hold your seat onto the car, so just snug them down real good and look at what's being displayed. Then what I have found is that on these center ones, if this is displaying a low pound figure, in other words it does go into negative. In other words, if you were to connect one of these to your system and look on what's being displayed, this will read minus 70 pounds. That's what all of these sensors will do when they are not bolted down. So if you see something that says minus 40, 50, 60 pounds, tighten this bolt. Keep cinching down on this bolt until it comes up to approximately 0. So what you're seeing is 0. Also, you can adjust these. These are not adjusters, but you can adjust the tightness on these, which determines how much these are being squeezed and or bent in the mounting process. And the end result is that you want to play with the tightness of these bolts until the display indicates somewhere near 0 on all 4 of these sensors. And then your airbag system will function as it should.
Also on this model, there is a recall for the passenger airbag. So I took it into the dealer. They did replace the passenger airbag for free. But when I went to pick the car up, all of the passenger airbag lights were still on. They said that the passenger airbag lights had nothing to do with the passenger airbag. So this is why I was looking into trying to see if I can do something with this on my own. Also, if you're trying to keep your Chrysler for the next 10 years or so, you might want to replace a couple of relays. That would be the starter relay, the fuel pump relay, and if you have a Hemi engine, you have the NAG1 automatic transmission. Now, this is a very strong transmission, but has a weak link. It's called the conductor plate. After about 10 years or so, the contacts get a little bit worn out, I guess, don't contact quite as well. The conductor plate is located inside of the transmission, and you will have to remove the valve body in order to install this. Here's what it looks like. There's where the connector is for talking to the computer. These are sensors, speed sensors for monitoring how fast some of the parts in the transmission are turning. And this device down here helps to warn you if you're running too low on fluid. Anyways, it's these little contacts right here is what the problem is that operate the solenoids. Anyways, every 10 or 12 years or so, you got to replace this thing. It's not too bad. Also, another thing you might want to do if you got the Hemi is to replace the thermostat with a 180 degree thermostat. It'll make it run cooler, make a little more horsepower, I'm told. And hopefully it'll last longer. Well, I had a lot of fun. Hope you will too. Have a good day.